Well, good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is BBK Dragoon, and welcome to the Replay Review series. We're back with Halo 4. I've gotten a lot of submissions. I'm excited to take a look right off the bat. A very awesome first replay that we've received. Definitely had a lot of games like this, and a lot of themes that hopefully you all will be able to pick up and play with online. I'm no Grizz, I'm no beast at Halo 4. In fact, I'm getting absolutely stomped. If I go into Infinity Slayer solo, I'm like SR 48 or so right now. Man, I just get cleaned up. But if I'm with a squad, I can usually pull a little bit better, and I'm trying to learn the game, and I've played Halo for quite a while, so hopefully all that will transfer. Let's jump right into it. By the way, I'm doing this in a new format, so I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think about it, using XSplit and kind of changing the way that I do the replay review series, getting maybe more in depth. So let's look at the email. Right off the bat, Promethean ZZ sends us our first replay. Name, Sam, from the United Kingdom. How long have you played Halo? 5 years. H2PC was his first PC game. And the game type we're looking at today is an Infinity Slayer on Haven. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of Haven gameplays. Description of what isn't working in your play/replay submission. After experimenting with all the primary loadout weapons, I have found that once again I am more comfortable with the DMR. However, I feel that I am too slow to respond to dangerous situations, and my tactics are mostly rash and self-destructive. I really enjoy Infinity Slayer, but do not play it as often, as I am normally with a group of friends. I normally play objective-based games. The player Purple Sloth is my friend in this case. I often find myself coming up short in confrontations and rarely getting more than a double kill. I am adjusting to the improved sprint/disabled weapon additions, and my nade skills are obviously a bit out of touch. Thanks for at least getting the email, BBK. Been watching the YouTube since early last year. The UK loves you, man. Thank you, Prometheans, or Sam. I appreciate it. And definitely a great submission. If you guys want to know a nice, beautiful template. So far, all the submissions have been pretty good so far, which is really sweet. But that was wonderful. He pointed out a phrase here that I want to bring up in our handy-dandy notepad. He's having trouble, and he says, mostly rash and self-destructive decisions. Well, I'm going to write something down here, and we're going to use the notepad as our new bullet point kind of system. So what we're going to be doing today is trying to be aware of the situations where you are at a disadvantage. And that's where we're going to start. And we're going to build on this idea to help us learn how to not make mostly rash and self-destructive decisions, but maybe more self-preserving decisions. Oh, see what I did there? So remember that. We're going to be talking about being aware in situations where you are at a disadvantage. So let's go over to the replay here. And I am going to be pausing the replay probably more than you guys would like, but what I'm really trying to focus on here is looking at the situations where the player can see on screen a bunch of data, and they have a lot of things open to them. And we want to look at those short moments where you have all that data presented to you and figure out if, well, is this an advantage or is this a disadvantage? And I'll show you what I mean right here off the start of the game. So he'll scoot left here, and I'm going to slow it down. Boom. Right here, the player sees that there are two opponents, and also half the shields are gone. The reticule isn't. The crosshairs. I'm gonna stop saying reticule. Reticule. I don't know how to say it. It's not ridicule. That's when you're like mean to somebody. Ooh, the live replays are gonna be so fun. My voice is probably gonna crack and all that stuff. So this is one of those situations I'm talking about where there's a lot of data on screen. Two Spartans ahead of him. His shields are half dropped, and the crosshairs are not anywhere near them. This is not a situation to engage. It's a situation to get out of dodge. So I wouldn't have even tried to get a shot or two into those guys. I would have really just tried to get around this corner. And as you can see, they have a guy just fully on you and just taps that last shot in. So it's all good. Infinity Slayer is very hard right now. I'm having a real tough time figuring out where to be on the map, and it's just a lot of practice. You know, certain maps where I get a lot of time on, it's a lot easier. So we're going to look at this situation, and we saw the bolt shot. Not bolt shot, sticky detonator, excuse me. So that guy has sticky detonator. Even though you have him one shot, I definitely want to see you try and clean it up since you stuck around. But if we would have just go back a little bit here, as soon as you see the sticky shot shoot, that should kind of be a cue to do one of two things. You have jetpack on, which is so legit, because that's going to let you do a lot of easy escape routes. And I'm going to tell you right now, to get out of this, all you're going to do is run forward, jump, jetpack, and land right here. It's so sweet using the jetpack on Haven. There's so many routes, and I'm going to be talking about escape routes in this replay review. So you push in, you don't get the kill on the sticky shot guy. He takes you down. All good. Pushing over here onto the blue street. And let's see if you do get the... Yes, good. You do get the Needler. And Needler's power weapon status in this game. This is, by the way, like the second or third time I'm reviewing this replay. So I know it quite well at this point because I had the first two recordings mess up with audio and stuff. So this is a really sweet situation right here. And there's a lot we can look at and a lot we can take away. And it's a big theme of Halo 4 is really paying attention to your radar. Almost like somebody, like an RTS player, pays attention to their radar. Or let's call it a mini-map. Because that's really what it is. Even though you're not seeing the portions of the map, it's still where you're going to see the enemy, so whatever. Whatever. He engages here, takes the guy out, gets the super combine, but look at the radar. There is somebody above him. Right here. How did that guy get there? Let's rewind real quick. If I can find him. Where's my buddy? Where you at, Promethean? There we go. So let's rewind it real quick. Yeah, we just literally ran across the top. Look at this. Nobody around. Nobody around. I didn't see anybody. But here's the trick. And just shows you how clever players can be with armor abilities. If I back it up just a teeny bit here and we go underground. Check this out. There's two dudes down here, actually. So two enemy opponents. You actually can see a third on the radar. And then as Prometheans is jumping down, check this out. This is pretty wicked. This guy starts crouching. Yep. So he goes off the radar. Master Chief here pulls a pretty sweet move, the move I was telling you about, and would have let you escape, actually, in the beginning of the game. Takes the jetpack up, runs over, gets your buddy, and then he's got, like, a super easy flank onto you just because, well, that's a hard thing to predict. I mean, where's that dot? Oh, the dude from above. Death from above, good sir. So many little blips on the radar. Not much you can do in those situations. So let's continue on. Again, this replay looks like a lot of my gameplays. You know, I've played many matches where it's just like, I feel like I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. And engagements that I'm like, of course I'm going to be able to win this. Of course I'm going to be able to win this. I end up, like, walking into death with 3 or 4 people. This situation is time to pull out the bolt shot. It's very hard to fight up here on the top mid if you guys haven't noticed. If you're standing here, you got sight lines from Mohawk all the way over to open. And that just makes it tough. This is where a bolt shot will help you out a big ton. You whip out the bolt shot as he jumps into you, boom, one shot kill. But it's so hard to compete up close with the DMR, especially in the middle of Haven. It's a very tough spot on the map to play on. So let's continue onward. So far, I do want to say your DMR shot is really nice. And one thing I want to note here, you said in your email that your nades are a little out of touch. This nade is sick. Check this out. Bounce off the wall. Boonk. Right back into where those guys were hiding. I love it. At this point, that was a definite overextension. Earlier, you saw on the radar that there were 2 guys down here, and so to push down into 2 lines of fire is pretty tough. I know you're going to get the kill, because I've seen this replay like 4 times, which makes me eat my words. Very well done. And then your team does the optimal thing. They push together. This is the best part about these long hallways, is one guy pushes up, shoots some shots in. As soon as he starts getting low, he backs up, and as soon as that guy gets a little bit low, your teammate runs in right behind him and cleans it up. It's a really cool back and forth kind of a thing. It's almost like road bikers. They do this pace line stuff where one leads for a bit, the other leads for a bit, one leads for a bit, the other leads for a bit. Excuse me, I'm going to fast forward as I drink some water here. So going down bottom middle, gets a nice headshot, dude above you, and also a bunch of people over at closed. Gets taken out over on closed. Let's, real quick, by the way. If you guys don't know the callouts, I'll do the, 5-second version. Top mid. Open ramp. This whole top thing right here is blue street. The bottom is blue tunnel. This is Mohawk. This is closed. This is red street, and underneath is red tunnel. And you have red lift and red plat up on top, but that'll get a little bit deeper later. So I like this pincer move with the team here. You get the ordnance, and you call in the shotgun, which is definitely not what I would have done here, because you have a damage boost. And in my opinion, damage boost right now is the strongest ordnance drop in the game. It's ridiculous. If you get that sucker, oh, it's so nice. In this situation, don't ever wait for that guy. He could be calling his teammates, and there could be a super gank coming down from that hallway. So if he's not coming to you, don't worry about it. You grab the shotgun here. Again, I kind of disagree with your choice to pick that up. This would be a kill if the shot hits, but it's all right. The shotgun's pretty tough to use. I'm not going to lie, you have to be very up close. So a little bit more accuracy on the shots. That'll help you out down the road. But I'm just trying to, let's talk about this right here. There's so much data that you can mine from this situation. And you players at home, I want you to take this away. Every time you look at an engagement, especially in Halo 4, you don't have to go for it. You don't have to engage. You can escape. You can lead the opponent around the map and get distraction medals. It's something that's really important to not overextend in this game, which is in contrast with other Halo games. A lot of times, Halo 2, Halo 3, you could just romp right into a room of 3 dudes if your BR was on point enough and just go crush. So, of course, that's an engagement that's probably not going to end up working out. 3v like 1 in the corner and then your other bro is down, running away on the halt. So you're running back to the same spot where you died, which is pretty gnarly, especially since there's 4 dudes down there. Now you're waiting, and I'm not sure what you're waiting for, because you've got your buddy over there. But this buddy overextended huge. Look how many people are shooting at him. So I appreciate you dropping down, but almost in that situation, you'd want to wait for more teammates to get in there. Nice kill on Domi, then you're getting some nice shots downfield, and that guy dropped down on you. He actually dropped a, something funny about this. Check this out. This dude up here drops like a hologram over the edge. It's pretty cool. So he sends that hologram down, and the hologram actually falls. Check that out. That's pretty cool that you can do that with hologram. I think that ability is pretty monstrous. I've been using lately thruster pack on this map a little bit more than jetpack, but I will say this, you're not using your armor ability at all. You're not really jetting. There's so many routes, man. There's like, you can jet from here over to there. You can jet from here over to here. There's so many routes, and hopefully, I know there's a few more engagements where I can show some pretty sweet getaway routes. So, coming into a lot of fire, a lot of dudes right there. Let's see how you handle this. Needler shots downfield, and just like it's a little overwhelming for you, that's okay. Okay, back down bottom mid, grabbing some frags over at open, going back over the top mid. All right, this is definitely I can talk about this for sure. This is a really good place to fight when they're pushing the top mid like this. It's really nice to just sit on this ramp, run up, take a shot. If they start shooting you, go down, peek your head out again. This is a really nice advantage, and you can almost always outgun people at closed or those at Mohawk, which is pretty sick. So this is the first time of the game I've seen you use jetpack, man. As I said earlier, it's really important to use your armor abilities. You definitely don't want to use jetpack in engagements, though, because it makes you a really slow target. You can't strafe while you're jetpacking, basically. Nice melee on that guy before you could get the sword kill off. And then I think you extend down here a little too much after Domi, but your teammate gets him. Try not to use jetpack offensively. As I said, in gunfights, it's just the same as reach. That's why a lot of people diss on that perk, is because they don't know how to use it correctly. If you're using it for escape routes, to jump up and down, like check this out. If you're engaging in a gunfight with a guy right here in the top mid, and you're where you are right here, all you have to do is when you get weak, you just drop down on the floor. And check this out. He's going to go chase somebody else. Like your other teammates by that point will be up there. So as soon as your shields are kind of healed, you just jump, jetpack, and you land right on the top, and you're able to go for him again. It's pretty sick. And especially since you're running jetpack, no reason you shouldn't be doing it. Oh, this point is important. Check this out. So you're pushing open with your teammate, which is good. I like that. You look like you have the advantage. But we're going to have one of those data mining experiences. Boom. Did you guys see that? That was a scatter shot. At this point, we can't drop into that pit of 3 opponents. Even though they're weak, that scatter shot down there is death. That scatter shot it's better than bolt shot. It's a beast. It's a very good weapon, and we just don't want to lure ourselves down into this corner to have to fight these guys. And the sword, oof, difficult. Challenging situations. Feels like when the enemy gets on a roll, it's pretty difficult to slow them down, especially with Ordnance at this point. So here we have you running back to where the scatter shot guy is. That's a hard, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I'd recommend trying to regroup with your team and maybe trying to take top control. But that's just me. Scatter shot again. It's hard to see when people have the scatter shot until they're starting to shoot it at you. So, this was a very good attempted escape route right here. I want to let you guys know. You can jump from this right down to here. But unfortunately, just hits the ledge right at the wrong second. Also, a really great Really great escape route is if you're right here on the, what is this, blue plat? Jump, jetpack, right there. Such a great place to be. Such a great place to be, man. I like that. I like that jump a lot. I've used it quite a bit. So, bunch of them in the mid. When there's a bunch in the mid like that, use Mohawk here, because Mohawk's pretty sick. You just come up, pop shot. Come up, pop shot. Come up, pop shot. You will get flanked from left and from right. That was mixed up towards... That's funny. That's funny. The joy of doing this live. I'm excited for this series quite a bit. I'm not going to lie, you guys. I'm not going to lie. Like, some of the replays I've gotten are... You know, it's all about things that you, the viewer, can take away and what we can learn from together. Because the more we're watching Halo 4 gameplay, the more you're going to be thinking about your own gameplay, blah, blah, blah. And it's just going to be a nice reflective process. So, pushing with your team. Sit down, Domi Warrior. One more around the corner. Can you get it? Oh, no, you get flanked from behind. They use the gnarly strat of going to top mid and just attacking downward. Let's continue on. And at this point, you know, red team's just... They got all the ordnance they needed early game. They got the momentum that they needed early game. And it's just hard to compete at this point, you know. You have a teammate, which is sweet. I like picking up the scatter shot. I like that kill right there. One more time. Oh, what's that? That's mine. Pew! Nice. Getting stoked on that kill, I'm sure. A little too much distance for the scatter shot. This is one of those data mining situations where you have your buddy above you, 1x, one dude on the floor, and 3 up top. And it's up to you at this point with the scatter shot. If you look at your radar and you feel like it's appropriate to jump up and go for some scatter shot kills, then yes. But at this point, I would probably suggest hightailing it right back over here. That way you can use this ramp to pop shots and hopefully get your team to spawn red, if at all possible. And yeah, it doesn't even look like the game's going to go that far, but man, that definitely should have been a kill right there at the end with that guy meleeing into you. So we'll look at the score real quick. And it was 3v4, by the way. I forgot to add that at the beginning. You guys did really well for 3v4 that entire game. It was that entire game because I've seen this game. So it's just tough when you're a man down. It's tough when you can't regroup and get the team shot. And the other team just got their ordnance early. But remember those escape routes and those data mining situations. So let's pull up the email again and let's pull up the notepad as I finish up here because I've been talking for so long. Yeah, I am going to go into a little bit more detail on some of these replays, and I hope you guys are okay with that. I will do my best to be prepared and do this thing upright. So, mostly rash and self-destructive decisions are your problem. So what we try to do is teach you the situations where you can be aware of when you're at a disadvantage. So, where's my notes here? Okay. And either engage or disengage. Regroup with team for additional disengage, regroup. Yeah. Regroup with team for additional team shot support. It's kind of hard because I'm reaching around my microphone. I promise I type a lot better than that. Cool. So that's what we wanted to look at. There's a bunch of situations in that game where you can look at your radar, pay close attention to it, and just be really in focus. In focus. That's a weird one. Be really in touch with what's going on with your team and the game, using your headsets, trying to just determine where is the action at. And when you see those situations of 2v1 or 3v1, that's your split second where you make the decision to disengage and give yourself an advantage. You always want to have the advantage. And Halo 4, it's so hard to outgun just a 1v1 of two really good skilled players. You do 2v1, dang near impossible at that point. So you really have to be using those situations where you have an advantage. So let's pull up my bullet points here after I click away. So, strong DMR early game. Always room to improve. Let's practice regularly in the octagon. Also, learn escape routes and use your armor ability more often. Don't jetpack offensively, but use it to your advantage for flanks. Oops, make it a little wider. And escapes. That's what I gotta say right there, man. I think it was a great replay. I can relate to it. I've had a ton of games where I've played and seen those similar results where it's like, it's just hard to determine. Should I take the fight or should I regroup and wait? And in this game, since it's 3v4, I would have definitely suggested a more defensive route and definitely suggested using your armor pack more efficiently to navigate closer to your teammates and to navigate away from the situations that you were at a disadvantage from. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy. That's the very first replay review. I will be trying to pump these out quite regularly. It should be Thanksgiving break while these are coming out, so I actually recorded these by the time you're watching it like a week ago. But doing my best and a lot of great submissions. If you're looking on how to submit on my channel homepage, on the playlists on the right, there is a replay review series. It's the first video there. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm BBK Dragoon. We'll see you later. Peace.